The episode of Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. It's been a long time. Wanted to get back into doing the live show, so appreciate everyone taking the time to join us this evening. Streaming live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Before we get started, man, please feel free, everyone listening in, to comment any questions or anything we're talking about. You got something to say, man? Please feel free to do so. Love engaging with the chat. Some of my guys, they're gonna be running a little late this evening. If they can join us, they will. But I got a couple of special guests today that we're going to be. We got some stuff we want to discuss. First off, man, he's been on the show before. Always been a big supporter of the podcast. Coaching out there at Western Guilford, out there in the Greensboro area.
Yes,
Got
sir.
Coach Juan. Welcome, Coach Juan, back to the show. Coach, how you doing?
Appreciate you for having me, man. I'm good, man. Just gearing up, getting ready for spring ball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I said, man, I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate you taking the time. My other guest, Mr. Anthony Goodman, local sports enthusiast, been a coach, has had his hand in everything out there in Sanford County. He's running a little late. Hopefully, he can join us. And like I said, some of my guys, they're running late. But if they can join us, they can. But we want to go ahead and get this thing started. Today, man, we're going to be discussing some recent changes to North Carolina athletics. Everyone knows the big news. Well, actually, a lot of people don't know the big news, man. North Carolina going back to 8 classes for the 2025 season. And it's going to be a little bit different than what it was before. I know before everyone's used to the 4A, 4AA, 3A, 3AA, and so on and so forth. But we're going straight from 1A all the way up to 8A. And I just want to get some different thoughts and perspectives out there. I know it's been a lot of talk online. I know a lot of people. I want to talk about the pros and cons, but I know a lot of people. It's not too many pros for some people. But Coach, man, you're out there in the Greensboro area, checking you guys out. You're formerly 4A. Now you're going to be 6A.
Yeah.
And I just want to kind of get you guys what's your thoughts and opinions so far of how the NCHA broke this down, and just how you like how you liking it so far.
Uh, so I think when they broke it down, they had a lot of football in mind because I know some of the other conferences, if you look at them, a couple schools are like an hour and a half away from each other in conference. And for football, that's fine because you only play, on Thursdays and Fridays. I'm interested to see if they'll do some JV games that are an hour and a half away. But, for varsity, you're doing a Friday night game an hour and a half away. And then you have Saturday, so you don't have anything to do the next day. Well, I think where it becomes an issue is those other sports like soccer, basketball, that kind of thing, where you have these schools traveling an hour and a half away, especially for like basketball. And then they had to sit through the game. A game might not end till 10 o'clock. You're not getting home probably till about 12 a.m. And then kids have homework and things of that nature to do. So they're students before they're athletes. And I think it's going to put a strain on the student part for a lot of kids. Uh, it's going to be a struggle for a lot of coaches too, because we are, not solely responsible for their academics, but we play a big hand in that. And I know for different sports, outside of football, it's going to be a little tough. For our conference in particular, everybody knows the powerhouses of Dudley and Grimsley. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
Dudley Grimsley just came off a state championship. Dudley lost to West Charlotte in the playoffs, who ended up winning the 3A state championship. So, those two teams right there, there's going to be a lot of talk about them. There's going to be a lot of good competition. You got Southwest Guilford in our conference too, who have a new coach, and we're expecting them to improve on what they were last year. But you got the conference within a conference. So in our actual conference for 6A's, us is in Western Guilford, Ragsdale, Smith, and Dudley. And those are three really good teams.
mm-hmm.
And you got to come out. Those are three games where you got to come out. You got to play hard, fast, and physical football. And I feel like if we come out and we execute the way we know we can execute, we can come out and we can win that conference, which, a lot of people aren't expecting us to do. We see things online. So we,
Oh
we
yeah,
see,
oh yeah.
some of the things people say. And, us as the coaches, we see that kind of stuff. And that's just, we use that for extra motivation for our kids. Our kids don't need that extra motivation. But, we got a group of kids who, if you tell them they can't do something, they are going to make it their business to prove you wrong. And,
Oh
coming
yeah.
off last year, we went 1-3 in one score games. And we weren't really senior heavy last year. We had a lot of underclassmen. So those underclassmen had that opportunity to go through that, see what that's like. And hopefully, this year we can turn that 1-3 to 4-0 in one score games. Hopefully we don't have a lot of them, but if you do want to know how to win in those situations. So hopefully we can win our conference, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely one of the teams that we had a lot of fun talking about you guys last year. I know when I first announced the teams that we were going to be covering, a lot of people, oh, why you covering Western Guilford for? They probably win one game this year. And
Yeah,
sure enough, man, y'all started off. Y'all started, man, like you said, man, started off hot, man. Yeah, I know you guys returned your quarterback, Caleb.
yeah,
One of the most underrated athletes, I would have to say that we talked about last season. I call him we call him a wide back, man. He's part wide receiver, part running back, and all athlete, and that's Tim Baker, man. He's going to be one of the probably one of the best returning athletes in the state. And when you got somebody like that coming back, man, definitely going ready to see some you're going to see some improvement in. Man, shout out to Coach Anthony Timmons, man. You could definitely tell, the progress that's being done out there and the changes being made, and definitely see the program progressing. And of course, all of him and all the coaching staff, you included, doing an absolutely great job out there, man. And definitely looking forward to talking about you guys more this season, man. Like I said, man, it's a tough football atmosphere out there. Like you said,
it
you
is.
mentioned Grimsley, who's just been absolutely dominant. Dudley, who has always been solid, and like I said, man, going 1-3 in those one score games, man. You guys finished 4-7 last year. I mean, you go 4-0 in those games, and that's
Completely different.
shows
It's a
it's a
completely,
completely
it's a
different season,
completely different story, man.
completely different athlete
Yeah.
outlook. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing that improvement. But I know down here, as far as the realignment, reclass goes, like I said, a lot of people haven't been paying attention. When I first posted the stuff, I had Clinton's 4A now. Wait, that's no way. Clinton's not a. How there's no way possible. They can't be a 4A. Well, I to try to break it down and explain to
Yeah.
people, man. Man, the new 4A class is basically what 2AA was maybe about 10 years ago. You mostly bigger 2A schools are now 4A schools, and
Yeah.
some of the and just my thoughts on it so far. I'm liking the conference that we're in. I mean, we get to once again we're back in the East Central Conference. But it's pretty much back with East Duplin, which is one of our biggest rivals. So that's always a fun game. We got Southwest Onslow again, who's been slightly down, but they got a new coach, and hopefully things get turned around out that way. Got it's a split 4A 3A conference. So the 3A teams we got Pender, we got Trask. Pull up that list real quick. But like I said, I'm liking it, and Clayton's coming off of pretty much a rebuilding year, and only graduated 5 seniors, so we got a lot of experience coming back. And what I was saying earlier, if anyone hasn't saw it, man, go and I'll repost it if y'all need me to check out my way too early previews. And one of the things I was talking about as far as Clinton goes, I'm looking at that 4A, 4A division altogether, and man, in the eastern side, it seems like it's going to be wide open. A lot of the stronger former 2A teams are 3A. We're talking about teams like Wallace Rose Hill,
James Keenan.
James Keenan, Northeastern, Whiteville. All those guys, they're down to 3A. The 4A East looks like it's just wide open. So this would be a perfect time for Clinton to get back to playing some competitive football because you put some things together and all of a sudden, hey man, you have an opportunity to have get back to
Yeah,
that state championship game.
and you know what? Coach Boykins, and they had of course, like you said, it was a rebuild year last year.
Mm-hmm.
Losing your head guy so close to spring ball,
Yeah.
having a new coach having to come in, and it's it's difficult to take out the old system and implement your stuff in.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then the
yeah.
most
Oh yeah.
important part is you got to get kids to buy in. Coach Boykins hadn't been down there. It's kids are coming off a state championship. It's hard for kids to buy in. My brother is a part of the program now. And I mean, he has nothing but great things to say about Coach Boykin. The guys are excited. He has them in the weight room. I mean, that conference for Clinton it's not easily winnable because you got East Duplin there, and it's absolutely nothing about East Duplin.
Mhm.
Not playing them, not going to that stadium. Like it's nothing easy about that East Duplin team. And they're gonna be disciplined and run the football hard. But Clinton has if all those guys are buying in the way that I'm hearing, Clinton has a real chance, to make some noise this year. And like you
Oh
said,
yeah.
the East 4A, we don't know. I don't think we know exactly how they're going to do the splits whenever it comes to who's East and who's West whenever the playoffs get here. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be a big thing. But like you said, a lot of the top dogs have gone down to 3A. So if, kids are buying in Clinton, man, it's not outside the realm of
Oh
possibility,
no.
to
Oh
get to
no.
that state championship level again.
Yeah. And like I said, I agree with you. Like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see. Last year, Coach Boykin he didn't really get an off season. So much
Yeah,
with the team. They had them all winter, all spring. They're in the weight room. Spring practice is about to kick off. One of the biggest things about us last year, like you said, man, you got a brand new coaching system coming in. Lost, I don't say 25 guys to
yeah,
graduation, then a couple more to transfer. You basically had a brand new team, and they struggled. They struggled at the start of the season, but once they kind of settled in, and one of the biggest things is, man, finding that when they found a quarterback and they
yeah.
started to establish a identity offensively, you saw a much different team than you saw at the beginning of the year, and I think hopefully all that carries over to into this coming season, but like I said, man, perfect opportunity. But like I said, a big hurdle because I'm really high on East Duplin's team this season. They return a lot, of course. When you got a coach like Battle Holly, I mean, they're always going to be in the conversation. A lot of talk about a really, really, really good JV squad that they got coming up. So that's going to help them out. Sean Davis is coming back, one of the best running backs in the area. Of course, they got their quarterback, Branson Norris, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the area. Like I said, man, that anytime you got Battle Holly, man, he's gonna get the most out of those kids. They're gonna buy in, and they're gonna be a disciplined team. They're not gonna make a lot of mistakes. So yeah, definitely high on East Duplin. But like you said, like I was saying, man, a lot of the bigger teams, more traditionally strong teams down to 3A. If you go on Max Preps and look at that, how the teams finished last season, a lot of those teams that were ranked in the top 25, I want to say out of the 25, only 9 of them are in the 4A East. So
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be wide open, man. It's going to be interesting. I definitely can't wait. Was
Have you
hoping we could.
have you seen the speaking of the realignment, have you seen the Mecklenburg school conferences? The I think it's the Mech Power Six. That one has Butler, Independence, North Mech, Chambers, Mallard Creek, and West Charlotte. Like that, our
Ridiculous.
conference is tough, but that right there, that's tough. And all those coaches, most of those, like the coaches that I do know of at those schools, are all good guys who can coach their behinds off, man. But that's a that's a tough ask to go. 1 week you play
Oh yeah.
Butler, then the next week you play Mallard Creek, then you turn around and play Chambers, and then oh, by the way, you got to pay the 3A state champions too and follow that up. So that's gonna be a tough conference too.
And I'm assuming I haven't without looking at it right now in front of me. I'm assuming all those teams are 8A.
As a matter of fact, so Chambers, Mallard Creek, and West Charlotte are. and then
Okay.
Butler, Independence, and North Meck are going to
Or
be 7A.
7A. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So,
And then
ooh, man,
Chambers
that's
just hired Captain Munnerlin from from the Panthers. So
yeah.
he coming in bringing a whole different energy to those guys. And people who are from Charlotte know of Chambers know that they already have a lot of energy anyway. But for him to go to that school and put even more eyes on them, that's gonna be a big thing for them.
Oh yeah. Now another thing that's they put out the how the way the playoffs are gonna kind of be broken down, and they're saying from 1A to 7A they're going to have 48 teams. So 24 East, 24 West. The top 16 seeds. Now, if I read it correctly, the top 16 seeds all get a first round bye.
I can't remember if it was the top 16 or yeah, because it's 8 on each side. So yes, yeah, yeah,
So yeah, so
yeah,
I'm like, man, so
yeah.
and they did it from what the article was saying, the I guess more competitive first round games. You ain't got a one seed going against the very bottom of the barrel, so they just more competitive football games. But how do you feel about a team getting normally the first round buys in the past has just been those the top 1A teams and the top 4A schools have gotten did the whole buy thing. But man, everyone getting that's gonna be different, man. So you got an extra week. For some teams, it's gonna be good because you get an extra week at the end of the season. There, extra week to get healthy.
Yeah.
If you're banged up, but a lot of teams, man, I know a lot of coaches probably gonna be like, man, especially when you got your team playing really good ball, you got a rhythm established, and then all of a sudden you got a bye week right there to start the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, but just how just want to see how you feel about that.
All right. So the coach speaking in me is like, you be ready for whoever you have to play.
Yeah,
Whoever. So the regular part of me is I'm not the biggest fan of it to give 8 teams buys. Like you said, you're asking for a lot from a high school kid to have that week off to prepare for the playoffs, and you're playing a team that's already played. So they never stopped. They didn't stop practicing. They didn't have a day off. And I'm sure a lot of coaches are, still going to practice as if there's a game that Friday. Some
yeah,
coaches may do a light practice on that Friday to go watch the other games possibly. Some coaches may not practice at all. So I think it really depends on the coach, but you're asking a lot for a high school kid to narrow in and focus on, okay, yes, I got this week off, but the next week, especially if you're a senior, the next week, this could be my last week of practice that I ever have. So I think you're asking for a lot from high school kids to deal with that. They say, to make it more competitive, seeing as that we were the 32 seed last year playing the number 1 Grimsley, I'm gonna say, it doesn't matter who you play. I mean, you look at Reedsville and East Rutherford this past year, things can happen.
oh
I
yeah,
think look at the seedings and are like, oh, well, the one has to play the 32. Well, like I said, we went 1-3 last year in 1-score games. And if we win, 2 or 3 of those 1-score games, we're probably like a 10 or 11 and we have a home game. So I think that picking at straws, like grasping at straws, trying to think of a reason to justify it. Because I
yeah.
mean, that's ridiculous. And then what if you have a team that upsets it's 1 through 24 teams? What if you have one of those teams that upsets a team and now that 1 seed is still playing the lower seed anyway? They're still going to be playing the lowest possible seed. So, you cut out like 1 game. And
Yeah.
I don't really see too much of, what that solves or what that helps, but I'm also not in those rooms. So
Yeah.
I don't I don't get to say.
and and with the top 8A is going to be they said they're going to have was it 24
Yeah. Yeah. I
24
think it's
teams.
32
So
and it's 32 of them in total. So 8 of them
yeah,
won't even, make the playoffs.
but like I said, a lot of different changes, man. Definitely looking forward to it. It's gonna be a process, especially with and now I know another thing that people have complained about as far as these new changes. The amount of teams in a conference have caused some teams to cut down on their non-conference games because you got to play all your conference games, and with that comes you're seeing a lot of traditional rivalry games, that are played in non-conference play not getting played now. And I think one of the biggest ones, I know off the top of my head, Scotland and Marlborough County aren't supposed to be playing this year, and that's been a rivalry game. Um, I want to say one of the biggest ones is the Pisgah and Tuscola game,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's always been huge, not just from a rivalry perspective, but for us from the outside looking in, the half and half that goes on at that game.
Yeah.
Like normally the half and half winner wins like 20 grand almost,
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
in that neighborhood. So you're talking about one of the, I guess one of the biggest traditional games in the state of North Carolina, possibly not being played due to the fact that some of these conferences you got 7, 8 teams, so you got to cut down your non-conference schedule. And I know you see it, you see it a little bit out here. I want to say in Wallace's conference they got like 17, so Wallace had to cut one non-conference game, but that's
And
just
they're doing
that's another thing that you're
non-conference.
kind of seeing out there.
Yeah, and Wallace normally when I see their non-conference schedule, I have to like blink twice when I see it because it is a tough non-conference schedule. But he does that, I would think, to prepare his team for what's
Yeah.
ahead in the playoffs.
Oh
You
yeah.
you want to be battle tested going into the playoffs. And now you have to take that one game away because of the conference alignment. Like you said, you got some conferences with like 8 or 9 teams in it. And I mean, that logistically, that's a nightmare, number one. Not even, and then you get to think again. I'm gonna always bring it back to the kids. You're
Hmm.
asking a lot out of a kid to possibly have to travel an hour and a half away back to back weeks. Like that's a lot, and that's just for football.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
I
know.
said, definitely, like you were saying earlier, back like when the games get played during the week, like basketball, was it volleyball, stuff like that.
Yeah,
You have to make that traveling on a school night. Whew.
on a Monday and then have to turn around on Wednesday and you're going back
Yeah,
an hour away. That's like 5 hours worth of travel on a student, who has math one the next day. Like you're asking a lot out of a student athlete in high school to have to put up with that. I mean, and like you said, a lot of the rivalry games that are going to be lost, I think, will be a significant impact on high school culture in general. Because I mean, you like up here, if you tell Grimsley and Page that they're not playing each other, Greensboro would burn down. Greensboro would burn down if you were to tell Grimsley and Page, "Oh, you can't play each other this year." And I think that means something. It means something to the schools, from a bragging rights standpoint, yes. But like you said, that Pisgah game, that's a lot of money going towards that school, and now you
mm,
lose that. So now, whatever the athletic program is used to getting and whatever they normally use that for, they can't use it anymore because that game's not there. And then that has a fallback effect because now what you're probably gonna end up seeing is a lot of teams advancing as far as athletics go, and then a lot of teams who are used to seeing, good programs, nice fields, nice equipment, starting to regress because it's like that 1 or 2 games a year where they are getting a lot of money from those 1 or 2 games, and now it's no longer there anymore. So again, not in those rooms, so I don't know what the conversations were, but again, you just always want to make sure that the student part of the
yeah,
student athlete's
yeah.
interest is always the top priority.
Oh yes, sir. And I couldn't agree more. But and you mentioned Wallace's non-conference schedule. They haven't released their full schedule yet, but I do have a copy of some of the non-conference games they'll be playing, and not so much up to par as normally they're speaking in a couple of really bigger
Yeah,
programs in there, but they'll start the season off at playing versus East Duplin. The next week they'll take on Kinston, which I think Kinston's going to be Kinston surprised a lot of folks this
they
past year,
did.
and I
They
think
did.
they're going to be really good this year. Uh, on September 5th, they're playing against Clinton, so I'm glad they were able to get that game in, man. Just wouldn't be right if you don't get a Clinton Wallace Rose Hill
Playing balls,
game,
yeah.
and they round out their non-conference schedule playing taking on Pender, which Pender like I said, not too sure about them this year. They may be slightly down. I know they graduated a lot. Probably 95% of their offense came from Jeremiah Johnson, he's now graduated. But just a little quick snapshot in to Wallace Rose Hill's non-conference schedule. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's going to be a lot of changes coming up for this upcoming season. But I'm definitely I'm man, I've been counting down the days since since February, man. I'm ready for some football. I'm ready to.
I've been I've been counting down since that clock hit 0-0 against
Oh yeah, I
Greenville.
already know, man. That's that coaching you, man.
Yeah,
You ready
man,
to
it
go?
is. It is. You take normally you take about a week off after the season over with to reflect. Then you take that next week off for like personal care. Then after that, it's back to
It's
it
back
with
to business.
yeah, trying to rebuild the playbook, see what you got coming back, see what's left, what could be leaving, possibly for reasons outside of your control. So, you know.
Real quick, man. Since we on the subject, man, I kind of want to. We had a couple teams release schedules, and
Mhm.
I want to give everybody a little quick snapshot at them if y'all haven't seen them already. Give me 1 minute. See if I could get this up here, but it's good to be back. It's good to be back on. Hey, anybody in the chat listening in, you have any comments, any questions, anything you guys want to talk about, please feel free. This is why we do the live shows. Shout out to everyone listening to us on Instagram. I know we got a lot of the student athletes that, the old for us old folks, we use Facebook. All the kids use the
It's
Instagram.
Instagram, man. Kids
Yes.
love Instagram.
But let's see if I can pull up some of these schedules. We can take a look at them.
I'm interested to see the turn that high school sports takes now with this these eight conferences, man. That's you may have some parents who flat out say, I don't want my kid traveling that much during the week, so they're not gonna play. Or they go to a private school, which opens up a whole other mess.
Yeah, hey, you see that it happens though. It's definitely happening, and the off season is that time for all the rumors and the speculations. And I've already heard a lot of. There's going to be a lot of movement this off season locally, unfortunately. But I mean, it's just one of those things that happens. But real quick, man, I'm gonna try to pull up some of these schedules. I got East Duplin's schedule here. Let's see if I can move this out the way.
That's a tough week one matchup for both teams.
Oh yeah. Hey, East Duplин's non-conference schedule is nothing like that. I mean, you could definitely tell that Battle's gearing up for what he believes is going to be a really, really good season for the Panthers. I mean, you look at it, starting out with Wallace Rose Hill, uh, Northside Jacksonville, and let me say this: I had to take the schedule down because I had to confirm which North Side they were playing, and some of my East Duplin guys that I've talked to this past week, you know what I'm talking about. Man, someone said, I don't know, we might be playing north side of Pinetown. And I said, let me go back and look at the schedule that was sent to me. And it doesn't specify, it just says north side. And I need for the administration from Northside Jacksonville and Northside Pinetown, y'all to come together and decide
Figure out who to.
who keeps the name, because or make sure anytime y'all send out a schedule to make sure the abbreviations put up there, because now I'm left guessing. I don't want to direct, I want to, have people, like, oh, I thought you said Northside Jacksonville now. But it's been confirmed, Northside Jacksonville, which Northside Jacksonville, who's struggled the last couple years, they were really freshman and sophomore heavy last season. I
Mm,
mean, freshman quarterback was out there, I mean, just slinging around the yard on us last season. So I'm expecting that program to start kind of getting back to what they were, about 10 years ago when they were probably one of the more consistent programs in the area. So definitely don't sleep on Northside Jacksonville. Richlands had, an amazing season last year. Beat Southwest Onslow for the first time in, I think they said it was a ridiculous streak. It was something like 30 years, something like that. Of course, traveling to James Keenan. James Keenan had an awesome season last year. They're going to be tough again. That's another school that had a really, really good JV squad. So they lost some really quality seniors, but they're getting reloaded. So they're going to be tough again. And of course, man, Jacksonville made it all the way to 3A regional championship game. They're always going to be they're always a solid program. So looking at just that non-conference schedule, man, East Duplin could come out that schedule 2-3 and still be, one of the best teams in 4A in the 4A East
Yeah,
because, like I said, just that non-conference schedule was nothing to slouch it. That's a tough, definitely a tough schedule. So kudos to Coach Holly, and they're going to get they're going to have their team battle ready and ready to go for conference play.
yeah, because at Wallace, at James Keenan, and at Clinton lets me know that he wants his guys to know how to go into a hostile environment and be able to handle it. Because
Okay.
that Wallace game and them versus Clinton, I don't care how up or down either program is.
Oh yeah, that's always
Yeah,
gonna be, man, a a very underrated rivalry, man. I know most
yeah,
people, Wallace James Keenan, Clinton Wallace, but Clinton East Duplin has always been heated, man. I always say this about East Duplin, the football program. They would have, they got one state championship, which they won recently, but for years they were always, talked about for, never winning state championships. But if it wasn't for some really good Clinton teams, East Duplin would probably have maybe two or three more, state
yeah,
championships under their belt because we've always been that, that thorn in their side, and recently it's been the opposite. When everyone remembers that playoff game a couple years ago, comes down to the 2-point conversion. Unfortunately, we don't get it, and East Luton goes on to win the state championship. But
yeah.
so being back in the same conference as them, that's gonna be that's gonna be some good good football, man. Definitely looking forward to seeing how that comes out. Let me pull up another. Let me see if I can get Clinton's schedule up here.
Our schedule just got finalized a couple days ago. So
Well, look,
once we get the graphic going, I'll get it sent to you so you can preview
well,
that one
look.
as well.
The moment you get it, let me know.
I will.
Cause yeah, I could definitely um anybody that has copies of their team schedule, please send it to me so I could put a little visual together. That's what I've been doing. Something I like I like to do. Let's see if I can cleanse up here. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my other guest, man. I've been checking my messages. Hey, Mr. Goodman, man, if you're listening, man, let me know. Let me know what's going on. Let me see. What we got here. Okay, this is Eugens. Sorry, I ain't got none of these labeled, but shout out to my co-host, Coach Brandon Maynard, man. He's doing, man. He's really excited about what Union's got going on. They're building up their program. Coach Mark Oates is doing an absolutely fantastic job out there. It's tough, man. Basically rebuilding a program from, basically scratch, man.
Yeah.
But last season, he had his, most participation he's had since he's been there. I had over 40 kids out there, most of them, sophomores and freshmen. So you got a lot of good things that's happening out that way. That program's going to continue to get built up. You got coaches like I said, my guy Brandon Maynard. He's out there now. He's doing really good work, motivating the kids. A guy that alumni, a former player. He, really getting into the kids. And like I said, you're going to really start seeing some improvements
Yeah.
from that program. That New Carolina It's going to be a 3A 2A conference. Mostly, basically, mostly those schools are former 1A schools. So it's not a lot of changes as far as the schedule goes. The only I think the biggest change to that conference is the addition to East addition of East Bladen. And shout out to a lot of my new followers are from Bladen County, so shout out to all my East Bladen fans out there. Um, but yeah, you're gonna really see Union start to improve, man. Like I said in my predictions, I'm not expecting them to challenge for the top of the conference yet.
Right.
I'm just being realistic. I still see them being maybe a year or two away before they're extremely really giving some of these top teams like Lakewood and North Duplin a hard time. But the biggest thing, man, is those kids continue to come out there, be consistent, and just continue to buy into what Coach Oates is giving y'all, man, because he's got a lot of experience under his belt. And like I said, once those kids buy in and continue to go out there and show up, they're gonna start winning. They're gonna start winning some ball games. And they have Tobias Cromartie, who's one of the best athletes, young running backs in the area. He's going to be, I mean, talking about 1,000-yard kid his freshman season. Uh, yeah, he's gonna be. And they got some studs coming up from the middle school, man. So
Yeah.
uh, Union
It's
Spartan
about
fans, man,
days,
it's
man.
tough. I know it's been tough, Union Spartan fans, but man, it's gonna start turning around, man. Just gotta continue to trust the process.
It's about stacking days, man. If they can stack days, and like you said, the kids are starting to buy in. Again, people we talked about this last time. People get fixated on the wins and losses. When you're rebuilding a program, the first thing you need is participation. Get the participation figured out. And what people don't understand is when you do get a lot of participation, you are going to get kids who may have never played football or have not played football since like maybe they were 9 or 10 years old. So they have to get adjusted to game speed and what high school sports are like. Once you get the participation, then you get them in the weight room, then you get them knowing certain positions and those kinds of things. That takes a year and a half, 2 years to do. So once you get past that stage, like this will be my third year going in at Western, fourth year for Coach Timmons. His first year, they don't win a game. Second year, they win a game. Third year, we win 4 games and make the playoffs. So as long as you can continue to stack days and stack years and get kids to buy into a program, it's going to turn around. And I mean, I know last year when they announced that Union made the playoffs, I seen it on your page and all message boards, and people had a lot to say about them making the playoffs. Well, that's regardless of if you felt like they should have made it or you felt like they shouldn't have made it, they made it. And those kids got that experience of,
Yeah,
okay, we have school today. We have a playoff game later. This is how you prepare for a playoff game. This is what goes into a playoff game. All the outside noise doesn't matter. Like
oh no,
whether you believe they should have been there or not, it means nothing. They're there now. So now they have that experience, and now they can carry that with them on. This is how I need to prep for a playoff game. This is how I need to get ready for a playoff game. Like it means something. And as long
oh
as
yeah,
those kids understood that, the outside noise, they're gonna talk. They're going to talk. And I'm sure that coaching staff, even though I don't know them, they know what they have in their program. And then that's that, at the end of the day, that's what matters whenever you're
yes
talking
sir.
about these high schools, is these coaches knowing what they have inside of their program. It's 8 state championships now. It's a million teams. Everybody's not gonna win a state championship. Of course,
Oh no,
says their goal is to win a state championship to start the year off. But for some teams, that goal is okay.
look like we having some connection issues, man. I lost coach. But give me a couple minutes, and hopefully he can be able to get back in here. But once again, everyone listening, man. Appreciate y'all taking the time. I know it's been a while since we went live. Going to start trying to get back to doing it more often, especially once the football season coming up. Um, like I said, man, just give Coach a couple minutes. He probably had some connection issues. But anyone listening in, man, please feel free to comment in the chat. Anything, any comments, concerns, any questions, anything you want us to look into, to talk about. Any parents, family members listening in, shout out your student athlete, alumni, man. Shout out your school. Shout out your football program that you represent. Uh, Shout out to Coach Oates man. We're just talking about you, man. Shout out to Coach Oates in the chat, man. Looking forward to seeing what those Union Spartans do this upcoming season. Yeah, Coach is mentioned me having some connection issues, so we'll give him a couple minutes. But just to piggyback on what he was saying, man, like I said, that experience that these kids got last year, going out there and playing in that playoff game, it's going to be invaluable, man. And like I said, they got a great staff. Like I've been saying, they're working hard. Union Spartans fans, you're going to start to see those results. And we got Coach back, man.
Technology is terrible, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, it's all good. Trust me.
lagged out.
Trust me.
My
I know,
brothers
man.
immediately text me talking about this clown lagged out. So, I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old, man.
Nah, it's all good. But if you wanted to just finish up what you was talking about,
Again, these high school programs know what they have inside of their, inside of those walls, inside that building. A lot of times, the outside noise and they should be this, they should be that. It can be a lot, and it's easier for the coaches to handle it than it is the kids. But like for a team like Union, who when I was in high school, I can vividly remember, as a matter of fact, Union and James Keenan playing in a playoff game. I think it was because Parker Jones was the quarterback at James Keenan. I can't remember how old I was, but these teams like a Union, they have a history of being good. Every program. Every program has a time where they're going to either, decline. Some programs bottom out completely and then they go up. It's simple football. It happens on every level of football. It is just extremely highlighted when you're in a big football state like North Carolina.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, real quick, man, we got Coach got Brandon joining us. BB, what's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
How you doing, man?
I heard y'all talking about a lot of good stuff, and it started getting close to home. I said, "Hold on a second, let me get on there."
Yeah, we deep in Sampson County right now, man. Talking about these programs that's going to be that's really been building up, and of course, we all got a lot invested in what's going on in Union because our boy Brandon Maynard's out there doing his thing, and we got and Coach Oates is up here listening. And Coach Oates has been great. A great asset to the program, a great asset to what we're doing up here, man. So definitely can't help but be invested in what he's got going on, man.
I have finally had the pleasure of meeting Coach Oates a couple times. Me and him stood around and talked probably too much. Real good guy, man. I love it. I love his mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, just I don't know. You can feel the wisdom when he speaks. And you ain't really even got to be talking about nothing. He's just one of those guys. Like, I mean, he has a presence. Union got something special with him out there, man. And with Brandon being out there with him, like the passion and that Brandon has for them home roots out there at Union. I mean, that's two of the best things that's happened out there in a long time.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to see what they build.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be something special.
Yeah, I'm sure it means I haven't had a chance to meet this coach, but I'm sure it means a lot when you're doing it for home. I'm sure that.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that gives you that extra motivation, that extra push.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, sir. But like you said, man, it's good to be back, man. I know you guys been busy. We all been busy. Like I said, like I was telling the listeners, man, we're gonna try to get back to especially with football season coming up, it's gonna be a lot of news and a lot of stuff dropping. I know Lakewood hasn't dropped their full schedule yet, but I was coming up. I'm trying to pull up Clinton's because it's something big that if you ain't been listening or you ain't been paying attention, we got something big that's going to be happening August 22nd. Something that hasn't happened. The last time it happened, I wasn't born yet. That's how big it was. But as soon as I can pull up Clint's schedule, man, because I have nothing. Hey, look, man, you talk about technology. I'm like you, man. I ain't got nothing up here. I learn on the go, especially with some of these streaming platforms and trying to figure out different stuff. But I got Clint's schedule up here. Hopefully, maybe third time's the charm. Maybe I'll get it this time. Let me see here. Oh, nope, that's Hopkins. Well, well, I'm gonna hold off on Hopkins. Hopefully, Coach Goodman can get up here with us. That's what I want. I want to save that for him. But let me try one more time. But let me see. Technology, man. Technology.
Terrible, man. It's either really good or really bad.
Boom. Got you. Oh, we in there now. We in there.
All right. Bam.
You see, we got Clinton's schedule up here. Now, if you notice this first game right here, like you said, August 22nd, traveling to Lakewood to open the season. Clinton and Lakewood have not played in a regular season football game. We're not talking about jamborees. We're not talking about scrimmages. These teams haven't played in a regular season football game since August 27th, 1982. That's how long it's been. So, I'm expecting, like, when I first saw it, I got excited. I know when I first posted, a lot of people were commenting. Yeah, I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be a packed house, man. That's going to be a really good gate. Man, I know Midway and Hopton are playing that same Friday, but come on, man, this is something that hasn't happened since '82. So I'm happy to see Clinton getting back into playing with the county schools, and something that I've talked about before, which would have happened more often, because a lot of teams you see a lot of different counties, they always embrace the county rivalries and stuff like that, and normally outside of playing Midway, which hell, Clinton Midway didn't start playing in regular season football games till 2013, and that was only because the conference realignment, and we got put into the 4-county conference with Midway and Union. But that's just something that doesn't happen a lot. So, I mean, like I was telling somebody on Instagram, Clinton and Hopton haven't played a regular season football game since 2001. So it's something I would like to see more, especially, like I said, I know you understand you got limited non-conference games now, but it's something I like to see more. And it's good for the county. It's great for, the kids, get to embrace those bragging rights, and it's just something I really like to see, and I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. That's definitely, without even seeing everybody else's schedule, that's my BuzzFeed Sports Game of the Week right there. We already got week 1 handled right there. It's going down, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm super excited about it. Now, you'd have talked to me about this about 2 years ago. Not so much. I wouldn't have been quite as excited, you know what I'm saying? But nah, I'm super stoked, man. Super excited about it. I've watched. So we play them in volleyball. I'm involved in everything, as all my kids do everything. So we play them in volleyball. We run track against them. It's kind of non-conference or whatever, but we still run against them. I get to see like the interaction between like the Clinton kids and our kids. They've got good relationships for the most part already. Just off the little stuff that we do together. Not together against each other, but together. So I'm real interested to see that the football cultures kind of come together. We're not that far from Clinton. It could be a really good thing for all of them as far as building those relationships, between the city school and these county schools. Like I said, there's already some there. But I like to see that, man. I like to see these kids not just play against each other, but learn each other, learn about each other, because that's how they support each other. You'd be surprised how many of these guys, as much as they want to beat the other school, and that's what we're going out there to do at the end of the day, be surprised like how many of these ball players got each other's back when we're not playing. You know, I mean, it's been a real blessing, you know, to witness a lot of that and see a lot of that. And I mean, like I said, when we play them in other sports, like you could see that there's a relationship there. There's a bond there. I think it's only right that we're doing this. I think it sets a good tone, for everybody around. Yeah, we need more.
A lot of times with these rivalries, it's not even the kids that don't like each other; it's the fans.
Yeah.
Like 14 and 15. The least of their worries is the school down the street. Like they're not thinking about that. It's a lot of times it's the fans who are not the biggest fans of each other that cause which is what makes a rivalry game a rivalry game.
You ain't never lied. Trust me, I'm coaching softball over at the middle school, and I'm gonna tell you, there's some schools that I've talked bad about ever since I knowed about them, because the relationship, it's just been poor between the fans and the teams, and now that I'm over there at the middle school and started coaching, I've noticed like a transition. Like some of those schools that I felt some type of way about, it's been a pleasure to play them. They've been, more than polite. Give our girls good compliments. Come by, let us know, like, hey, it was really great to play you guys. Hate the game didn't go better, but hey, the girls had a really good attitude. Things like that. Like, coaches don't take the time to to do that so much. They get kind of caught up in the game, and it, like you said, it just turns into that little rivalry, and they're stuck right there, and they forget that it's about those kids in each of those dugouts or each of those sidelines or whatever sport it is. That's what it's really about. And I think as coaches, we lose some of that. And being out there kind of in it, this season, I've kind of learned to appreciate some and wish we didn't have to play some others. But yeah, it's definitely the fans that kind of fuel everything, kind of stoke it. But I definitely am coming back this season with a different perspective on some of the areas that I felt so strongly about before.
It's definitely hard, as to turn that page on rivalry sometime and remember that it's just a sport at the end of the day. But you just get so caught up and so hyper focused on that page that it's hard to turn that chapter in that book. And
it is
difficult.
Well, look, I can attest that I'm definitely in the past I have been, man. Look, I used to couldn't stand Wallace Rose Hill. Like, don't even talk to me about Wallace Rose Hill. But I learned since I started doing this. I mean, I've always respected the program from a football standpoint, but just since I started doing this, and you kind of got to lead that bias. Take that bias out of there and really kind of take a deeper dive into the programs and who's involved in some of the fans and stuff like that, man. And like I said, man, I definitely say, man, me 5-6 years ago versus now, man, I got a lot of respect for a lot of the fans, and a deeper appreciation for the coaches, some of the players that from our rivals. But yeah, man, it's been an experience. But real quick, and I don't want to ignore the chat on Instagram, because sometimes I'm trying to look at like 8 things at one time, man. But somebody had a question on Instagram, and they were asking me, "Do you think it's crazy that Hopkins is playing Triton, significantly bigger school?" No, I don't think it's crazy. I think for Coach Silas and the Hopkins football program, and that's a good early season test to kind of see see what you're working with. Like I said, I wanted to wait till see if Coach Goodman was going to be able to join us before I spoke on Hopkins. But just my real quick 2 cents, real quick. They're going that air raid offense that they got out there is one of the best in the area. If once it gets kicking, it's hard to stop. And they're going to be a solid football team this year. It's always been defense with Hopton, in my opinion. Like I said, they never really had an issue scoring points. It's just always been, the stopping. And they return one of the best wide receivers in the state, which the kid ain't being talked about enough. I'm sorry. I see these posts on Instagram about, here's the top 25 wide receivers in the state of North Carolina. And I'm not seeing Reggie Thompson. And I'm like, hey, look, I understand the offense is tailored to, wide receivers to put up big numbers. But, I mean, the kid's got all the measurables. I mean, 6'3", very athletic, great hands, great route runner. Look, check his stats. You know what I'm saying? Look at his stats. I mean, he's one of the best in North Carolina. But I like Hopton playing bigger school. Just get that early season test. And Triton's bigger, but Triton's never really been like just overwhelmingly better than any of the schools around here. I know we used to play them in non-conference play to start the season when I was at Clinton. So I think it's a good, like I said, just a good early season test. So nothing too crazy about that. But I appreciate the question, appreciate the participation. I apologize. Sometimes I'm looking at our screen. The comments on Instagram for some reason don't come to the main chat box like everyone else. So I apologize. Don't want to ignore anybody, but appreciate the question. Like I said, anybody else questions about these schedules, about realignment, about where your team is at, man, please feel free to comment.
I'm gonna touch on that. What you were talking about playing in bigger schools. I felt the same way a lot of you guys felt. Like, why would we play that school, or why would we put ourselves through that, or why do we? I used to feel that way too. I went through a little spell where I coached some travel ball, and I had a bunch of kids that. First and foremost, when you start a travel ball team, just because you call yourself a travel ball team doesn't mean your kids are automatically travel ball caliber. Like, you understand me? Like, what you did was you built a team and you put them in a travel ball organization so you can go play ball games during the off season. You got to earn that travel ball team status. The title just kind of comes with the territory. So needless to say, I had a group that won't necessarily experience. Most of them had minimum experience, and I took them to them tournaments anyway. But what we did was we worked with the core group as hard as we could. We was practicing 2-3 days a week. We figured out what we got. We said, okay, these are our best options for each position. And we started getting down to the nitty gritty, teaching the basics, and we would go play a tournament. So we might play a tournament, and knowing good and well, we're going there to get squashed. So I'm going to tell you something about it was travel softball, just so you know, but I'm going to tell you how that kind of works. How that works when you're in the situation we were is you show up to a park an hour or so, however many hours away, and you lose 3 games back to back with and sit in the sun for many hours and just get beat on. and then you lick your wounds all the way back home and apply sunscreen. I mean, that's kind of how it goes. But I'm gonna tell you something. When those kids have to see a top caliber team do what they do, don't think for 1 second they're sitting in a dugout not watching.
Yep.
They're watching that game happen. It's happening to them. They're watching everything out there. You start straightening out the learning curve really quick. So we would pull those kids back and say, okay, we're going to give y'all 1 month, or it might be 3 weeks or whatever. So we'll practice hard for 3 weeks before we go to another tournament. So we practice 3 weeks and we hop back in a tournament, see how we stack up. First couple tournaments, we didn't hardly score. I bet you we didn't score 5 points between the 3 games we played. By the time we finished up that season, I had girls turning backwards over fences, catching what should have been home run balls. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to see it to believe it sometimes. And I think that's important. And, you know, I watched Coach Holt when Coach Holt had came into Lakewood. One of the very first things he did, he said, he kind of learned who the schools were, who was saying what about who. And he matched us up with a scrimmage game right out the gate against Wallace Rosehill. Knowing that we were going there most likely to get beat on, to get punished, because it was a solid program. I mean, there's high caliber kids out there, high caliber coaches. He took us right out there and said, all right, if y'all going to beat on somebody, start with us. And he put our boys through that. And I'm going to tell you, at the beginning of the day, it was looking real grim for Lakewood. I mean, we're sitting over there nudging each other on the sideline going, man, I don't know how this season's fixing to go. And by the end of that thing, like I said, that learning curve started straightening out. We started putting points on the board. We started stopping plays. It's growing pains, man. It's growing pains. Oh, yeah. If you could face somebody tough, if you could face a real challenge out the gate, you're going to see what your players are made of. And that's what them coaches want to see. They want to see who's going to get going when you know, when it gets tough, they want to see the tough get going, you know, and that's what they're looking for. Are you going to quit on them? Are you going to play through, you know, whistle to whistle? That's how they're going to figure out who they really want on that field every time. You can show up to workouts and give 110% every day at workouts, but if you quit in the game, I mean, that's what they want to know. So they want to put you in a position to fail. They want to see how you fail, much like college recruiting goes. College recruiter wants to see you when you fail and how you react, how you adapt. Same thing. These high school coaches should be thinking like that. You shouldn't want to go out and have a buffer game and go out and beat somebody by 60 points real quick. You know, oh, yeah, our confidence is up. We're going to do great. Yeah, you're going to do real great. You're going to do real great until you guys get in a bind and you don't know who can pull you out.
Yep. I
mean, so I used to think like that, too, until I've been there and I've done that. So y'all trust these coaches, man. Y'all see them put your guys in a situation to be challenged. They're doing it for their own good. They're doing it for their own good, and they'll be better because of it.
We got you talking about putting your guys in the bind. We got a scrimmage in August that I'm very excited about. I'm not gonna say the team name, the team that we have to play in this scrimmage, but it's a team that, you know, it's going to be a measuring stick kind of scrimmage for us to know where we are to start the year off with. And, you know, people may be like, oh, it's a scrimmage. Teams don't show, you know, their full playbook or whatever. But it's still, you know, at the end of the day, it's seeing competition.
They got the same talent, whether they're running the same plays or not.
Yep. Got the same talent. And that's really what it's about, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I love it. I've gained a whole new respect for a lot of this. For a lot of these coaches, I've learned to shut up and watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
I've learned to shut up and watch over the last few years.
That's what a lot of coaching is, just shutting up and watching.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a kind of coach that's, you know, always talking in groups and, you know, you got to be the voice all the time, you're not doing a lot of learning.
That's right.
It's important as a younger coach to surround yourself, or a younger coach or older first-year coach, to surround yourself with coaches who, one, are going to impart wisdom on you themselves, and B, put you in situations and in circles where you can hear other people's voices and opinions and not just whoever your head coach is.
Yeah. Hey, that's true. And, you know, the same thing goes for the spectators, though. Like, this coach has already got a lot of pressure on them. You know, you think – I know there's coaches out there that are coaching just to coach. I mean, I know it. You know it. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, these coaches got some skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, their jobs are likely riding on a performance. I mean, they got these kids out there and they've coached them, they've learned them. You know, I mean, they spend so much time together through the summer, and then into the ball season, they do become family. Yeah. And if that culture is correct, you know what I'm saying? You can't help but to have that love for each other. Them coaches feel the same way, man. And they're taking these kids out there when they're not successful at coaches. They feel like they're failing the kids. no coach plans on going out there and making the wrong call. No coach plans on going out there and doing something ignorant. But sometimes we get in them situations and we don't realize as fans in the stands how much we could contribute to the wrong call, how much we ourselves could contribute to more confusion on the sideline by the things that we say, the way we speak on our program, the way we speak about our coaches, over there on the side, I knew that won't go and work. Everything's a problem. Coaches feel all that. They hear all that,
We do.
But I mean,
you know what? Public service. We hear everything that you say in the stands. We 110% can hear every word you're saying.
Right. So I mean, it took me a while to learn it. Now, don't get me wrong. I am that guy. If I see something and it has become, a stigma, I'm gonna call it out. I'm just going to, and I might mention it to you, just me and you to begin with. But if I keep right on seeing it, then I'll just let it be known. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not perfect, and I can't hold my tongue very well, but I've learned that just shut up and let them coach, especially if they got a lot more experience than you. Why you talking? Let the man do what he signed up to do. He's getting a paycheck for it. You're supposed to be here watching the game. You ain't getting paid for your input. Be quiet, watch the game, man.
It's easy to coach from the bleachers when you don't have to focus on a position group, a play that just happened, and all that other. You get to eat your popcorn and hot dog and murmur, I don't understand why they would run that play. It's easy to do. I do it on Saturdays and Sundays from my couch, so I understand why people do it. On Fridays. It's hilarious though. It's hilarious.
But look, my favorite quote was, everyone knows it's easy to know the right answer after the fact.
Right. If you run a play and it don't work, they talk about how dumb you are, and if you run the same play next time and it does work, they'll carry you through the end zone. Yeah, carry you on the shoulders.
It's thinking, and the thing I've always wanted to ask people is there anything that you've ever done in life that works every single time you do it?
Right.
It's not just like we're coaching to score points because I coach offense. The other team is coaching to stop me from scoring points. So sometimes the other team just called a better play than I called. My play wasn't bad; their play was just better.
That's right.
It happens. It's part of the game.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yep. I have to tell my softball girls that all the time. I say, softball and baseball are two of the most challenging sports there are. Because there are two sports where you can go out there and do everything 100% correct and still lose.
Yep.
And still lose. I mean, you can go out there and be right and still lose because there's another team that's playing the exact same game as you. They're playing the same game as you. And if everybody shows up and do their job, it's fixing to be a long, hard fought game. And it's anybody's ball game, literally. I mean, you got to think a good batting average. I mean, literally MLB batting averages, they're successful 3 out of 10 times. So you're talking about a sport where you go up there and fail way more times than you succeed. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at baseball and softball. And these girls and young men are going out there trying to have a perfect game. Like, there ain't no such thing.
No.
I mean, an MLB player got a 30% success rate at the plate. And you want to go out there and hit every time. You and your feelings. You want to flop around, act fool in the dugout because you struck out. Like, nah, man, we ain't doing none of that. We here to play softball. We here to play baseball. Whatever it is, that's what we're going to do. Football is no different. You got an offense and a defense. They got an offense and a defense. They all showed up to play ball. I mean, who's going to call the better play? What athlete is going to have their little aha moment and say, "Oh no, we ain't going out like this." Pull you out of that tight spot. Who's going to make a game-saving play? Who, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the kind of stuff. Who's going to get the momentum? I mean, a lot of times that's football. That's why I say it don't matter who you play. It don't matter who you play. When you walk out there on that field on Friday night, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Hey, real quick, man. Coach Juan, man. If you, man, I appreciate you taking the time to talk about that realignment and everything y'all for, man.
No problem, man. As usual, anytime you want to talk ball, just invite me on. I accept the invite, and hopefully next time I'm up here, we can. I'll have the schedule for you so we can go over, talk to you a little bit about some of the teams we'll be playing, and can't wait for the preview show come August, July, whenever it may be.
Oh yeah, yes sir, yes sir. Definitely looking forward to it, and definitely looking forward to talking to Coach Timmons and getting that insight. But man, like I said, man, if you got to cut out, man, go ahead, man. Appreciate you joining us this evening.
Yes sir, man. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hey man, he had a lot of really good points that he touched on that realignment I hadn't even thought of, and I was sitting there like, oof, maybe he should have been in those rooms. Super smart dude.
My bad, connection issue.
Yeah, I said, what in the world? I'm all alone.
Yeah. Connection issue. My bad. Like
no, you good.
The Wi-Fi want to start acting funny now.
But no, I was just saying that I was like, he's super smart on that. I was listening to him talk about the realignment stuff before I could hop on. Then he brought up a lot of points that I never even thought of when it come to the the traveling and how many hours them athletes is students are gonna have. And I was like, bro, that stuff I was like, man, that's a super smart dude. Maybe he should have been in some of them rooms where the conversation would be had.
Definitely should be. But shout out to Coach Juan for joining us, man. Hopefully we can get him back on in a later date. But I got a question from the chat real quick. Dwayne Davis want to know how the playoff system is going to work in 4A. And we were talking about it. Basically, there's going to be 48 teams from 1A through 7A. There's going to be 48 teams to make the playoffs. 24 East, 24 West. The top 16 seeds all get a bye that first round. And from what they were saying in the article, they're doing it to it's basically because they want to have more competitive first round games. I'm guessing. So those first like I said, those top 16 seeds get that first round bye. And then the playoffs basically gonna work like it normally works, man. But appreciate the question. It's definitely gonna be a lot of learning curve, a lot of different changes that we got to adapt to. But I'm trying to stay up on the articles, and I guess one of the new things they were talking about was maybe a different system as far as how they judge, how they seed off the RPI. So it's going to be some changes and stuff, man. They did a big survey with all the coaches in the state, so it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a couple more changes, I believe, before playoffs get here. But the biggest thing is, man, it's going to be a lot of different changes, things that we're not used to, and just kind of got to roll with it, man. But appreciate the question, Dwayne, man. And like I said, anybody else in the chat that has any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about, please feel free. That's why we started doing the live shows. Like I said, while I still got Clinton scheduled up here, like I already talked about how big that Lakewood game is going to be. I'm happy to see that we kept Midway on the schedule, moving it to a non-conference game, with them being a different conference now. I'm happy to see it because that Clinton Midway rivalry has gotten a lot. It's been big, man, amongst the kids. Like I said, we didn't start playing that game till 2012, 2013, and it's always been a big game. Midway finally beat us for the first time last season, but in every single sports, man, that's a big game. If basketball, baseball, volleyball.
Oh yeah.
Just recently, Clinton's baseball team beat Midway for the first time since like 2017. So, yeah, I mean, that's a big deal. I'm glad they kept that. Looking at Clemson's non-conference schedule, I mean, it's chock full of rivalry games, which I love it. I mean, I know I got a good friend. I'm sorry, what you say, man?
Oh, I just said, oh yeah. I was agreeing with you.
Oh hell! Wait a minute, my connection. I'm having no connection issue again. Whole time. I think I'm still up here.
I'm trying to make sure. I can still hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
And hey, Brandon, okay.
I think you're back.
I'm back. I'm back. Hey, I apologize, folks. I've been having issues with my Wi-Fi all day. Blame Spectrum, but
we'll send them a bill.
We gonna. Oh man, we gonna make sure we get right because I ain't paying for nothing to be half-assed. But
right.
What I was saying. Come on, man. Doing it again. Stand by. I may just switch to my phone. I have to get off.
Y'all just bear with us for a minute. Chris is gonna get it right. Trust and believe.
All right, man. I had to switch to my phone because laptop
Told
is
y'all he'd
just.
get it right.
Let me turn this down. All right, I think we good now.
Oh yeah, you sound real good now. But yeah,
Can
you
you
were
hear me all
talking
right?
about. Oh yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Cool. Folks, if y'all can, if everyone can hear me good, just let me know if they're. I apologize, having some technical issues. Had to switch to my phone, but what I was saying, like I said, I'm glad this. If you look at Clemson's non-conference schedule here, you can see it's chock full of rivalry games from Lakewood, Midway. They was able to keep the Wallace Rose Hill game. Very underrated rivalry. We're playing East Bladen again, which I'm excited about. And it's away. So for everyone traveling to that game, going to Elizabethtown, you can check out Giorgio's before the game, get you some good food. It, even though I heard they changed since I last been. Somebody said it wasn't as good as it used to be, but I still don't believe it. But definitely check it out. And of course, Whiteville. Whiteville's been a long time rivalry, and that's a good way to, end the non-conference slate. But just looking at everything, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the start of the season. Ready for some of these other schedules to come out. Ready to see what Lakewood's got for the rest of their schedule. Midway. I think Lakewood and Midway are the only county schools that I haven't seen the full schedule yet. Wallace, of course, James Keenan, all the area schools, man, just ready to see what goes down. But and Dwayne Davis, man, yeah, it's a tough schedule. Um, I know like I said, I got a good friend, Brent Gale, man, long time listener, probably listening in. He's not a fan of playing, small schools. He wants playing to step outside the box and always try to play a bigger school in like Wilmington or Fayetteville. And I always like, man, I mean, like I said, I'm not mad. I would like to see one of those, but at the same time, I mean, you gotta do what you can do.
it's got to be a two-way agreement. Just because we want to play you, if the other school doesn't agree to it, it's not going to happen. But I like the schedule. I mean, you got a good slate of teams. All these teams were better than you last year, so I mean, it's a good test, I believe. And then, of course, you going into conference play with tough teams like Trask and East Duplin, and of course another rivalry game with Southwest Onslow. So I'm a fan of the schedule, man. I'm looking forward to check them out. Uh, but like I said, man, any questions, any comments in the chat, man, please feel free. Hopefully, everyone can hear me still good.
Oh yeah, you sounding loud and clear now, man.
Yeah, like I said, I had to switch to the phone, man. Spectrum acting up, man. We gonna talk to him after this. After I get off, though.
Yeah, we're gonna get a discount on this month. But I man, I was I'm kind of disappointed not to see JK up there.
Oh well, what? Hold the phone, cause guess who we're scrimmaging in the jamboree?
Oh yeah,
James Keenan. So, like I said, man, Coach Boykin and them, they did a good job. At I think it's a good schedule, man.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get a good test early on. Like I said, scrimmaging James Keenan, and I mean Lakewood's coming off a back-to-back 10-win seasons. I understand that you're going through a coaching change, but that's still a solid group of kids returning. That's going to be a really good test. For those who didn't get to check out my way too early, season predictions, I got Lakewood as once again being one of the top in their conference. So that's gonna be a great test week one. And like I said, Midway's gonna be solid. We all know what Wallace Rose Hill brings to the table. Not too sure, quite sure what East Bladen has returning. I know they got a couple stud running backs coming back. Whiteville should be solid once again. So it's a good non-conference schedule in my opinion. Like I said, you check the boxes of rivalry region, local rivalry games, and all those games are getting tested in one way or the other. So
Oh yeah.
We're
Good
definitely gonna be able
program
to know
growing
what we're
schedule.
made of after those first couple weeks.
Yep. Good program growing schedule right there. Like it or not, Clinton still, rebuilding. It's they're gonna be better this year than they were last year, but they're still not gonna be where they were for a while. Um, but we all know they're coming back. Um, it's the dark horses, man. Like we already know. So yeah, definitely some good measuring sticks. Early on. I think JK gonna be real tough again this year. I know they lost a few, but they got a lot returning. Man, they
And
got a
they
lot
had a really
returning.
good JV team from what I
Yeah,
heard, from what I was told.
yeah. So, I talked to Takis quite a bit. He's doing some 7-on-7s. So we've seen him at a couple tournaments. I keep in contact with him. He said them boys they still gonna be all right. Um, so I'm looking forward to following them again this year. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't even know if you want to get into talking about Lakewood. I'll leave that up to you. If you open that can of worms, I'll sure hop up on my soapbox. But
Uh,
it,
I want to kind of see once y'all get the coaching situation, and whenever y'all release your schedule, that's when I want to kind of take a deeper dive into it. Like I said, a lot of these schools I'm still waiting for the full
yeah,
schedule to come out, and before we can really kind of talk about them. But yeah, we'll hold off on it for now and then. Of course, we won't want the full crew here. Uh, get everyone
oh
together.
yeah,
Cause like I said, I'm gonna plan on doing it kind of like I did last summer, where all our schools we're gonna just take a episode, and it's just gonna be totally committed to what they got going on, and the schedule and the players to watch and our outlook. So that's
yeah.
definitely going to be coming up. But yeah, we'll hold off on that. Like I said, with all these connection issues and everything, man, we'll probably start winding down. But I kind of want to get a little. I know I promised people more baseball and softball, um, updates and stuff. And I was trying to get something big might be brewing here, man. I'm looking at a score for all my Midway fans, man. West Bladen, last score update I got, man. West Bladen was up 5-0. I don't know if that's a final, but that was a big time game in the Southeastern Athletic Conference this week, man. Midway beat West Bladen earlier this week. It looks like they may have returned the favor this evening. So, hey,
Yeah,
baseball in the
if it ain't
Southeastern
over, it's
Athletic
getting real
Conference,
close.
man.
Yeah, if that game's not over, it's getting real close to over. It's almost 8:30. So, yeah.
Let me see.
But since you done messed around and brought us a softball, hey y'all, I'm gonna shout out that RS Middle School right quick because I'm out there helping with them. So our little squad went from winning one game last season, to be a runner up in our conference.
That's
So
awesome.
they got man. So they got their little trophy today, for the runner up and first round of the playoffs, and we just beat Sampson. So looks like we're gonna be playing Midway for the championship. So yeah, buddy.
Okay,
Big growth.
that's what's up. Hey, like I
Yeah,
said,
big.
man, it's all about taking those steps to just get better and better and trust the process. And yeah, you got to take some lumps, but I mean, long as you're you're learning from it and coming back stronger, man. Just like I said, just trust the process. Um, Real quick, I'm
What?
gonna see if I get a softball score as well from that Midway West Bladen game, because that was our game of the week this week. So they met basically almost back to back. Of course, Midway played a game in between. I'm pretty sure softball won though. Midway softball has been
Oh yeah, they're insane, bro.
dominant.
Yeah.
Look,
So a lot of people ask why. They're like, why is Midway so tough in like baseball and softball? And I told them I was like, all right, look, I was like,
it's
so
culture, man.
well, it's not only that, but that area, like yes, they've always had that culture in that baseball, softball, but they haven't always been the best. They haven't always run it the way they run it now. Now like you pretty much know what's happening when you show up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you know the outcome before you get there. But um basically they have a lot of facilities, like indoor facilities and trainers in that Dunn area, that Dunn Benson area. I put it this way, like for kids in Roseboro, if you want to go somewhere to an indoor trainer, a personal trainer, you going all the way to Fayetteville or out like that Spring Lake, Lillington, or you're going to Dunn. Like that's pretty much what you got. If you're gonna go anywhere, you're at least a 40-minute drive to anybody that's really doing anything. Well, Dunn's got it right there. I mean, heck, there's some that are a couple of miles apart from each other. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're indoor facilities a couple miles apart. So sometimes it's the resources that are in your area too.
oh
If you ain't got nowhere to work when it's raining, you missing practice because of rain. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have travel ball organizations in your area, well, your parents might not have the money and time to drive an hour every weekend or 3 days a week for you to practice, and then driving God knows how far for the actual game. Like, I mean, it takes time. You got to have the resources close enough, and that's what it boils down to. They got a lot of travel ball organizations that are ran right there out of Dunn. There's a lot of training facilities and trainers right there in Dunn. It's easy accessible. I mean, they're 15 minutes from their house, 15, 20 minutes from their house, and they're with somebody that, played college ball or played and coached, and they're getting lessons. They're getting private lessons. They're doing their thing. I mean, they got outstanding coaches that understand that if the basics aren't too good for, Mike Trout, then they're not too good for, little Johnny. Little Johnny can still got to do the fundamentals and still do the basics.
yes, sir.
And that's what it boils down to. I've talked about it so many times. You can be a coach all you want to be, but if the only thing you know how to do is develop plays and teach the motions of the game, and you don't know how to actually develop the player, you're going nowhere fast. You're going nowhere fast because unfortunately, most of the schools in the area like we're in are begging for ball players. They're begging people to play ball in most of these sports. Half the time, there's not enough kids to cut. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so they're taking what they got, and when you're in a situation like that, if you don't know how to teach the basics, if you don't know how to get into those fundamentals and really teach those fundamentals, you're gonna be in a bind. Because a lot of them kids coming to you, that you've been begging to play, are likely just athletes that have never played your particular sport. So you got to be prepared and able to coach that up. And if you can't, it's gonna be a long L-field season.
All right, definitely agree with you. Real quick, for my Bladen County folks, just a couple updates. East Bladen softball defeated West Columbus this evening 10-0. I got that score. Back in the Sampson County baseball, Hopton 14-4 over Lakewood. See what else I got. And I'm gonna try to do better as far as baseball and softball goes, man. There's so many games during the week, man. That and like I said, man, I've been trying my best to keep, try to provide some content as far as I know. I talked about baseball and softball before, but try to stay up on it. Go ahead and announce next week. Baseball game of the week is going to be Hopton traveling to Clinton, so that should be a good Sampson County rivalry game. And my other game of the week is going to be out of Duplin County in Rosewood. That should be a really solid softball game. Both those teams right there at the top of the Carolina 1A conference, so big time implications in that. Try to get you a final in this Midway West Bladen softball game. But a lot of talented teams, man. I really try to focus on Sampson, Bladen, and Duplin area so far this winter and spring. And I guess I could go back a little bit because we weren't really doing too many shows back then. Real quick, just rewind to basketball. Man, what an awesome basketball season for the area as a whole. I mean, you had in Sampson County, you had both Lakewood teams. In Duplin County, you had North Duplin, you had both North Duplin women's basketball, East Duplin women's basketball. Both made deep runs, and a huge shout out to Bladen County because we got a lot of Bladen County followers during that time. So shout out to y'all for following the page. But East Bladen women's basketball and West Bladen boys basketball. Tremendous runs in the state playoffs. East Bladen fell in. I think East Bladen fell in the state championship game, and West Bladen fell in the regional final game. But I mean, just tremendous runs for both those squads. So, I mean, basketball as a whole for the entire area was, tremendous. So, shout out to y'all. Like I said, man, we got a lot of Bladen County love all of a sudden, man. So they were flocking in here. So I appreciate y'all. Joining us. Like I said, man, we're gonna try to keep it up, man. It's gonna be interesting now because we got East Bladen in the same conference with all the Sampson County schools, so that's gonna be fun to keep up with this coming season. But yeah, still, like I said, I'm trying to keep up with trying to make sure I stay up on spring sports, baseball and softball. But we look like we got some solid teams in the area, man. So we'll be paying attention as the playoffs become a little bit get a little bit closer. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that next week. Hopton traveling to Clinton, and North Duplin and Rosewood on the softball side of things, and we're gonna keep it going like that. Still haven't found a final score, but I'll post it on the page a little bit later on tonight. But yeah, we're gonna try to get back to doing these live shows, man. We all been busy. Life been life, and so it is what it
you
is.
ain't lying.
Football season's getting a little bit closer, and that's when we come alive right then. So, this is gonna be your place for all your your local, definitely focusing on Sampson County, Bladen County, Duplin County for this upcoming season. And we got a couple outlier schools that we are, like I said, had Coach Juan Weston Guilford up here. I was talking to Coach Gainey from JF Webb, so everyone's getting really excited about this upcoming football season, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. Spring football's coming up. We're looking forward to finding out, who Lakewood's new head coach is going to be. and just more of these schedules dropping. So, like I said, if y'all have a schedule, get a copy of schedule, shoot me the schedule because I want to put my little visual twist on it. But yeah, definitely looking forward to it, and I'm losing more time. I'm gonna have to go
Yeah,
ahead
I
and
have
close
to.
this thing out.
Heck yeah, man. I'll give an apology real quick to my Lakewood crew and the surrounding guys in the baseball and softball stuff and basketball as well. I plan on being much more involved and get much more information over to Chris than I did. Um, but it didn't work out. I got super busy. I had a kid doing travel and I was running one for training, and I got behind, so I dropped the ball, let Chris down on that. I wasn't
Oh
available to
you ain't
feed the
you ain't
information.
let nobody down. You ain't let me down, man. Look, like I said, man, we all been kind of
Man,
strung out.
yeah, yeah, man. I like I told everybody, I was like, yeah, we're gonna cover this basketball thing, man. We got y'all. We're gonna do this, man. Little did I know that life was gonna throw a wrench in my plans. But I got to spend some quality time with the family. We did a bunch of traveling, played some travel volleyball with my daughter. She got some real good experience out there. I was, working 40 hours a week, trying to run around, do travel on the weekends, 2-day tournaments every weekend. I'd be gone 2 weekends, home a weekend, gone 2 weekends, home a weekend. And I was like, man, so yeah, life was life. And my house is a mess. It's still a mess. Uh, like literally we're here long enough to live. That's it. But then I started coaching softball, and I've been running eight and an hour out to training, and then he started 7-on-7. So now we were traveling for 7-on-7 and volleyball. So I was like, boy, like, so yeah, I dropped the ball, man, trying to help my kids chase their dreams. So I don't apologize for that part, but I apologize to the ones I said I got y'all and I didn't have y'all. My bad.
Yeah,
So
no, it's all good. Like I said, man, we do this, but we do this within reason, and like I said, we're always like I said, even though we couldn't be doing the live shows, I tried my best to keep up with the content. So
yeah,
shouting out the players and shouting out the different performances and trying to keep everyone updated with the score. So if anything, we're going to give y'all something, So, but trust me, when football comes back, oh my, hey, look, I don't hell or high water, man. You're gonna have some coverage, man, and we're gonna. Cause I've been ready to talk about it, man. I'm ready.
man.
Trust me. That's
Hey,
why
look, I
I
already
said I
got the
came up. I came out. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here in March, and I'm already sitting here talking about conference prediction. I'm just ready to talk football.
right. Hey, look, I've had the fever ever since Aiden. I already had it when he was doing his training stuff, but now that he started 7-on-7, man, I've been like, boy, it's time to talk about some football. Like,
Sir.
uh, I've almost went live a couple times just to talk about some bull crap, like just on my on my regular page because I've been missing talking about it. But man, I've met some amazing kids, dude, out there, and with that 7-on-7 group. I mean, kids from South Carolina that I mean, darn near like family to me now. Kids from up here in Red Springs that we've been working with. All out in that St. Paul's area. Like I said, all the way to South Carolina. Like, I mean, I've got to know so, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know one of the kids that we talked about a lot last year. TJ Ellerby from out there at
Okay.
Red Springs High School. He plays on that team, and I've got to watch him perform. I've got to talk to him quite a bit. Matter of fact, he just did that Carolina Coaches Combine at Princeton. If I'm not mistaken, I think he got a. I'm not sure. I know he got an award. I'm not sure if he got an MVP or not. I have to look back and
I
see.
have to go back and check the post out, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
Yeah, and a young freshman quarterback from Grace Creek um messed around and got the MVP of the underclassmen or
Okay.
whatever. But he plays for us too or whatever. So I've got to know him. So man, I've got to know some super talented kids, some great kids, man. from all over the place, and it's been fantastic. And I just found out, one of the boys that has kind of grown close to my heart. He was talking about possibly not even worrying about going to college for ball, and hell, he just hit me up the other day and let me know that he's committed to St. Andrews, so he's decided to go ahead and pursue it. So, I mean, I'm super proud of these dudes, man. We got a lot of guys with some big offers on the table and some invites. Matter of fact, our team just got invited to this weekend. We were supposed to be off this weekend, but we got an invite to an invites only tournament at St. Augustine in Raleigh, St. Augustine University. It's called North Carolina Best of the Best 7-on-7, and apparently they're throwing their own little twist in it. Apparently these boys is going to be able to run the ball as well. Yeah. So yeah, we got it's gonna be interesting. So Aiden's got to be in the coaches combine Saturday, so he'll miss Saturday's tournament, but Sunday that's where we'll be, man. So I'll try to get some clips and stuff to share with you. You can put them up on the page or whatever. But
definitely.
I'll start getting some names of some of these kids and their home schools and what they got going on, man, and shine a little light on. Because like I said, I've met some awesome kids, dude. Just fantastic kids. It's been too much, man. It's making me crave Football Friday so bad.
It's coming. It'll be here. It'll be here before you know it.
Yes, sir.
Definitely looking forward to it, man. It's a lot. There's going to be a lot to cover this season, man. And I'm ready. I'm ready for it. And definitely be on the lookout for the stuff that we got coming up soon. Like I said, we're going to try to start doing the weekly shows again, especially when news drop. But like I said, for those that checked us out this evening, man, appreciate y'all taking the time listening. Unfortunately, we couldn't have one of our guests couldn't make it, but hopefully we'll be able to get him back on one time and hear his. Definitely want to pick his brain as far as realignment and some of the stuff going on in high school football, and of course him being a Hopton guy. I want to hear what he got to say about Hopton's schedule and what they got going on. So stay tuned for all that, man. But like I said, we're gonna keep on trying to keep up y'all updated with the spring sports. Like I said, we got a big combine dropping this Saturday up, so we'd love to see some of the clips and some of the area kids their performances. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And like I said, man, we're just gonna go ahead and kind of wind things down. Like I said, I apologize for any connection issues we had during the broadcast. We're gonna definitely get off the phone and talk to Spectrum about that. But definitely be on the lookout for any upcoming shows, man. We're definitely gonna keep everybody informed on everything. And shout out to all you student athletes that checked us out on Instagram, man. Like I said, keep on grinding, man. It's the all season. It's time to work. Spring practice right around the corner. Definitely looking forward to it, man. Before we closed out, Brandon, man, you got anything else you want
to? Just real quick, for most of y'all probably know Coach Brandon Maynard that's on here with us. He had tore his Achilles. He just had surgery this past Saturday. So y'all, keep him in your prayers. That's a tough injury and a tough recovery. So y'all please keep him in your prayers. And I was hoping he might pop in on us tonight, but I'm sure he's got that leg propped up.
Got that leg wrapped up in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's tough right there.
Yes, sir. I always heard that was a super painful injury, and I think he said he tore his other one before, and now he's tore that one. So he is probably not feeling well. So y'all please keep my man in your prayers. I know he's itching too. He's been working with some of them boys.
Yeah, I know he's ready to talk. I know he's ready to brag on them kids, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know he is.
It's coming, man. It's coming. Like I said, man, we got a lot of stuff ready for this summer, man, and I'm ready to hop into it. But
I can smell it already.
Oh yeah. But man, I appreciate everyone taking the time to check us out. Be sure, if you haven't done so already, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Definitely leave a comment, share the video, and we got some more stuff coming for y'all in the future, man. But like I said, man, appreciate y'all listening in. We're gonna be signing off now. Chris Harris, Brandon Blackwood.